Gloucestershire Police Constable Neil Lorimer has been found guilty at Kidderminster Magistrates Court on Thursday the 19th of January of assault. Unusually, this isn't an assault against a random member of the public, this is an assault against his own niece. Lorimer was said to have been off duty at the time of a family party at Ryton Grange farmhouse in Ryton near Shrewsbury, which had been hired out for a golden wedded anniversary on the 14th of November 2021. Lorimer said that he struck his niece as he was attempting to grab his nephew, claiming his nephew raised an arm to Lorimer's wife and upset his wife with repeated comments and remarks throughout the night, but the content of those remarks and comments have not been divulged. He claimed that he went to intervene as the pair were carrying on arguing. Lorimer was suspended after the allegations were made, which is now more than a year ago, and was charged with the offence in May last year. Sean Williams, prosecuting, said that police were called by Lorimer's niece to her grandparents' anniversary, reporting that she had been assaulted by her uncle, explaining that he was a police officer. He said something occurred which soured a very good-natured event that evening. The prosecution say the defendant became very upset with his nephew. It seems he went to strike him, missed, and hit his niece instead. Giving evidence, Lorimer's niece, Emily Robinson, told the court, "I was sat at the table with my mum, brother, nan and granddad, Neil and aunt, all in the kitchen, and we were having a laugh and a joke. The next minute, Neil stood up and lunged towards my brother, shouting and going crazy. Neil said, 'What the fuck have you just said about my wife Tasha?' After which he got in my brother's face. I still don't know to this day what was being said." Ms Robinson told the court that she had scooped up a young child to get them out of the crossfire and urged her brother towards the house's front door. She said, "That's when I was met with a punch in the face." Lorimer obviously denied the assault, claiming he was simply trying to defend his wife from the claim that his nephew was raising his arm. Lorimer said, "I went to grab his arm before any punch could be thrown. All of a sudden, from my right, I saw this shadow. Emily coming from my right. I didn't have time to pull my arm back. I didn't know if I missed his nephew or he moved his arm," claiming he to only be made aware of his niece's injuries later on. Lorimer's nephew, who Lorimer described as being Larry before the incident, gave evidence to say that he had been engaged in auntie and nephew banter, but denied saying anything or raising his arm towards Mrs Lorimer to justify triggering an attack. Convicting Lorimer of assault, District Judge Ian Strongman said he got an idea in his head that his nephew had behaved improperly towards his wife. He was angry and he struck out in temper. The fact he was aiming at Scott and hit Emily is of no consequence. It's a matter of transferred malice. There's no defence to the charge and I find him guilty of the assault. Lorimer was ordered to do 150 hours unpaid work, pay £800 compensation and £850 costs, with £95 victim surcharge. He said outside the court he intended to appeal against the conviction. So, unless he appeals, he is now facing a misconduct hearing. That obviously will have to sit on the back burner until his appeal goes through and to determine what happens at the appeal. But I will keep an eye on future events surrounding this situation and bring that information to you when I can.